Well, good afternoon, guys. Saturday afternoon. Trunk lid. So, lots of little circle holes and stuff in here that was hard to get down into, so I took my little spot blaster, did that little number on each one of these little holes. All these little areas in here that was hard to get to, went ahead and got those with the blaster. And man, I mean, it's pretty much as good as I can get it. I mean, unless I took it somewhere and have them professionally strip it, blast it, whatever, it is what it is at this point. I think it looks good. I've done what I can do. Backside, done. Time to clean and epoxy. So, talk a little bit about cleaning this stuff. Glass cleaner you can buy at Sam's or whatever you have around you. This foamy stuff here, it's ammonia free. Like you can buy it by the case, it doesn't cost that much. So for initial wipe down, for me, it looks like it's blowing right towards the camera, so if it gets fuzzy, you'll know why. I'm just going to hit it with this stuff and clean it until I can't get anything else off of it. And you can see it's already starting to pick up some stuff. So I'll probably edit some of this out because you guys don't want to watch me clean metal. But I'll try to be somewhat methodical about how I clean this. Wet, I don't miss anything. Go around this outside good. When I do my final cleaning, I won't use these white towels. I use the blue Scott towels. They're the lint-free towels or whatever. And they're tougher, they work better, they don't tear up as easy, but they're more expensive. So that runs back into that deal. Cost versus, you know, I'm trying to save money for this guy and do this as good as possible. And not spend, because you can spend a lot of money in towels, paper, tape, all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to be as frugal as possible. I know I would want that for somebody that I was having to do my car, which I'm going to say it's going to be hard to find someone like that at a body shop that's going to care. So I watched a video earlier. We were talking about some of the guys that do what they do to make a living, and this guy is an amazing painter, but people can't afford, you know, these $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 restoration paint jobs, all that kind of stuff. So they pretty much do what they can, and so guys have to cut corners to make money. And so I'm watching how this is going, and there's Bondo, like thick Bondo, like it's probably on my Camaro right now. We talk about come off this car too, super thick. Been on there for who knows how many years, and the guy's like, just leave it on there, go over it. This guy can't afford that. He can't afford for us to take it all off and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what they did. And when they were done, the paint job looked phenomenal. But as they ran across the light, if you were to pause it at one position on this video, the paint shrunk back so hard in this paint that it just looked like somebody had punched the side of the car and it cracked, and then they painted over it. It was just so, the sand scratches were so bad. And like the guy said, to the normal person, man, they're going to be as happy as they could possibly be, not going to care. To me, I would see that. I'd stick out like a sore thumb. And to me, that would ruin the whole freaking car just because of that. I mean, just to me, I'm ridiculous. I know, I get it. But just made me think of that. And, you know, I don't know. Like I said, this is probably, I may make this the last restoration I ever do for anyone else. may just do my own stuff from here on out because the time, and obviously it's not about money at this point for me. Okay, you can see it's still pulling off some little bit of stuff. Because if I was getting paid by the hour, I'd probably make $1 an hour. I'd probably pay this guy to work on this thing. It just is what it is. And it's my fault because I've taken the time to do it this way. Had I done it the way they did it on that video today, I'd have had this thing done 5-6 months and been on down the road, have my pocket padded, and been happy. But I wouldn't want that to be the way that someone did me on my car. And I get it. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do to make a living. And if the person's happy with that job, that's awesome. This is the isopropyl alcohol I'm going over with it. And it's getting a lot cleaner. The bad thing is when I talk, I end up not really paying as close attention as I need to what I'm doing. So I really just need to go on and clean this. Stop talking. Still getting some dirt. Alright, so here's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Because I've had several people say, hey, why don't you just use chemical strippers? So, and this is just me. If you use chemical strippers, that's your car. You do what you want to do. But I called the owner of this company. He's been doing this for 40 years. And he was a car painter and the whole deal, so he knows his stuff. There's no doubt about it. You go to the website, you can look at their work that they put out. It'll even tell you how to put the perfect paint job on your car, what steps you need to go through and the whole deal. But I'm on a texting basis with him, and I texted him yesterday and I said, hey, what do you think about chemical strippers? How many failures have you seen in your lifetime at this? And he said 40 plus on doing Corvettes, 20, 30 on regular metal cars over the course of his career. And if you think about that, I mean, somebody's spending absolutely ridiculous amounts of money to redo these cars, to get these paint jobs perfect and nice and all that. And then you have some kind of catastrophic failure because the stripper gets down in here or under here or some little nook and cranny, and you just happen to wipe over it like I just did and happen to miss it. Because, you know, I went over this and I think I went over it pretty well, but there's no 100% guarantee that I didn't miss a spot somewhere. So if I miss that spot and that stuff is still on there, it's going to let loose. That paint's going to let loose. It's just not going to stick to that paint stripper. That's the whole deal with paint stripper. You're stripping the paint off of it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I'm sticking with mechanical stripping. I may never use chemical stripping on any car that I ever own, and I'm especially not going to use it on this guy's car. Because if it's my car and I screw it up, it's my car. I mean, I have to live with it. If this is someone else's car and I screw it up, they have to live with it, and it's my work, and I didn't do the best job I could do, and on and on. I mean, like, you know, so anyway, that's my take on that. And I do have a couple little dents that I forgot about that I need to take out the back side of this. I'm just now remembering this little guy here. And then there's one right here that looks like really some of the only ones that are going to give me any issues. And since this is in bare metal, I may just go ahead and stick a pin on there and pull these up a little bit. So I'm going to do that, and I'll bring you guys back. See you. Alright guys, I got that zoomed in on that little spot. I'm going to show you, some of you guys haven't seen how these work. And that's on a corner, so that's going to be really hard to pull. Let's see. Right there, you can see this little divot. But we'll give it a shot and see what happens. I said it's going to be hard to pull. It's going to be hard to pull with this stud lever probably. Alright, I'm going to power on. I guess I need to plug this in. For some reason things don't work without electricity. I don't understand how electrical things don't work without electricity. It's amazing. So now that I get my head pulled out of my ass, possibly, let's try this again. Alright. So, you see I got that on this spot. Take a little step lever, push that forward. That's going to go right on that ridge there, and I'm going to pull that up. Alright, that pulled it up actually pretty good. Why I say that is because it's tougher on these corners to pull stuff. Now, if this was on a flat spot, it wouldn't be any big deal. When you get around, obviously this is the strength of this panel. So when you're right on the edge like that, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But that actually pulled that up pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've got one more right over here that I need to pull up. And so this just popped off. I could reuse this too. If you're super frugal, you can just grind the tip back on that again, which I'll probably do since it just popped right off like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not that frugal, but hell, it didn't bend it, so why not reuse it? It did, you know, a lot of times it'll bend and get all jacked up. Alright, let's see. Let me move the camera around. Different angle here. Yeah, okay, so there's my pin. Dents down that way. I'm going to pull it out this way. Now this time, instead of using this, because this is at that angle, I'm going to go ahead and grab my little puller and just kind of pull that out. It won't be as controlled, but I'll bring you back. I got to go get that puller out. Let me put you on pause. Alright, so here's our little tool. It comes with the stinger system that I have. You can buy these probably separate as well, but this is a really nice setup. So, put that on there. Tighten it down. Alright, that actually did pull it out pretty good. So from here I can just put a little bit of filler in there and be done with it. So just needed to kind of pull those out real quick. No big deal. So I think that was the only two things, little imperfections on the back of this that I really cared about because they were kind of right on the edges. A lot of the back sides of these are dimply all over the place anyway, you really wouldn't be able to tell. But in certain areas like that where it's going to be smooth, that would kind of stick out a little bit. So Only took me, you know, a couple minutes to do, and so no big deal. All right, I'm gonna clean this one last deal with wax and grease remover. Go. So let's get the waterborne wax and grease remover, which again is basic isopropyl alcohol and acetone, and it's got something else, some hydroxide, something in it or whatever. And give me some blue Scott towels for this last final cleanup on this side. Outside edges first. Back this out a little bit more. There we go. Guns are kind of nice too. Here's another thing. If I want a lot of air, just like a paint gun, a lot of air, or you can turn it way low. Now when I squeeze it, it just puts out a little bit instead of blowing so much out of my gun. Well, that's kind of nice because on the other gun I have doesn't have that, and it's a pain in the butt. I'm still getting a little bit off. It's not too bad, but better than just going over it once, I guess. Like I said, I don't know that you can ever get anything too clean. Alright, I'll get another one to come back and hit the inside. I know a lot of guys are saying, you know, you need to spray it on the rag. I'm going to let this sit for so long it's not going to matter. I'm not going to spray it right immediately, so it's not going to matter. I get that, I get it. Alright, first coat's down. I got that sprayed on dry. And you can see, well, maybe you can see, it turned out pretty good. I don't see any bubbles, pinholes, anything like that. And like I said, that's just the first coat, so just sealing the metal. Same with the back. Sealing the metal up, no problems, no issues. Shot this at about probably 28 psi. 2.5 turns out on Iwatt, 400 LPH, 400. And what else? I don't know, looks pretty good. Cleaned it up. Of course, this is the next day. This is Sunday. I went ahead and let this sit overnight. That way I wouldn't have any issues with the wax and grease remover or anything like that. So seems to have worked out pretty good. So I'll bring you back when I spray the second coat. See you. All right, well, I'm running out, so I'm starting to figure out how much of this I need. I only mixed up 8 ounces that time. Really, I could have used, probably 12 ounces or so would have been good. I got 1 coat on the back and 2 coats on the front, which is good. Once I do my putty work, I'll probably break back through a couple of times, so I'll have to go back over it again anyway, so I'll end up putting another couple coats on there. But you can probably see my hinges hanging down there, and I completely forgot about those, got sidetracked. So I'm gonna have to mix some more up and catch those. So when I do that, I may go ahead and hit the back side of that with another coat. But that'll be a little bit later, so I'll bring you guys back when I get that going. See you. Forgot to bring you in close to show you what I got. Like I said, this is just sealing metal, as you can see me. It's pretty glossy. But yeah, you can still see those little check areas and stuff like that that were in there. So you know, that's where you're gonna have to use your filler. There's a couple little divots here and there. You see little bumps. Those are on the back side. Those are on the front side, but they're right on that deal, so you can't get to the back of them. You'd have to pull them out with like pins or whatever, but those are so small, you might as well just fill them with filler, especially since I'm going to have to do the whole panel anyway. It's not really going to make any difference. So yeah, that's it. I'm trying to remember where I did my metal work on this bad boy. Oh yeah, over here. You can see I fixed area through here, and it's gone. I've got one little tiny dent right in there. See that? I don't know if because I think I did my metal work over here. See that little area right there? That's where I did the metal work. So I just missed that little dent, but I'll fill that with filler. So, all right, that's it. I'll bring you guys back later when I get something else done. See you.